If you've been disappointed this year, this message is for you. The Stockdale paradox is one that was covered in Good to Great by Jim Collins. It's about Admiral James Stockdale, who was a prisoner of war in Vietnam. And he said, it's great to have hope. You've got to have hope. You've got to have faith. But there were some prisoners of war who were trying to be so positive. They were so positive that they said, we'll be home by Christmas. We'll be home by Christmas. Now, in 2020, people are saying, when this year is over, I can't wait for this year to be over, as though there's an expectation that COVID-19 will suddenly dissolve on December 31. Well, as I broadcast this, it's not yet December 31. It's a couple of days before Christmas. You may be watching this next year sometime. The important thing about having faith is that, and having hope and positivity, is that we still face the harsh realities of where we are and not put conditions on things that we have no control over. Those prisoners couldn't control when they would be released. They just believed that they would. Stockdale believed that everything would work out, that he always had faith that he would come home, that things would work out, but he didn't put the burden of a deadline on himself. He just trusted that it would happen. And that's what's really important, that I found the same thing when I went to court. I was believing God that I would not go to jail, but in my prayer time, I submitted to God and I said, God, if you've got a better purpose in this, then I'll accept that. And then when there was not this huge disappointment when I went in. Whatever your circumstances are, you know, Proverbs 3 says, in all your ways acknowledge him and he will direct your path. We don't tell God what to do to make our life. We can make suggestions. We can believe God. We can have prayer, and we can say, you know, we're believing for things and for healing and so on. But always our heart has to have an attitude of submission and trust in him, because Romans 8:28 says that he makes all things work together for our good. Not all things are good. Not all things are his will, but they happen. So when you face a disappointment, your disappointment is not in God. You've got to look at what were you expecting? Because when your expectations are too prescriptive, you narrow the scope of what can happen to help you. You narrow where Holy Spirit can move. Now, Holy Spirit can move anyway, but having that heart of trust. It has been a hard year for lots of people. We've lost people. There are people who are in heaven now, and it's heartbreaking. It's going to be a hard Christmas for them. But we still have hope. There is still a future. We will still get through this. Don't give up. Don't give up. You matter. And you matter, and life matters. And it also puts me in mind of Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl, who said the prisoners who died earlier were sometimes had more meat on them. They died earlier when they gave up hope. But the people who found hope and had meaning for their lives lasted longer. Many of them still perished, of course, but they lasted longer because life had meaning. And one of the problems that we have now is people are in despair and hopeless, but there is hope and there is meaning. Wherever you are, wherever you're listening to this, your life has meaning and there is hope. And keep your eyes on him. Keep pressing into Holy Spirit. A lot of churches are disappointed because they've been shut down and they've had expectations of how it's going to be, and we're just believing God for miracles and to have churches open. Well, God's always open. Whether you have church or not, people are finding intimacy with him. Some people are disappointed. Some people are pressing in and finding intimacy with him. It's all in how you look at it. All right, bless you heaps. I hope this has been a blessing to you. As the year closes out, or if you're seeing this later on, we will get through. You will get through, and it will, in the end, we'll make it. All right, bless you heaps. Bye-bye.